You were talking about that cop tip for when, like a natural part of everything, you send people death threats online and then you need to cover your ass.
Of course.
I'm also interested because you've given some mind-blowing, I'll say, financial advice over the years in regard to maxing out as many credit cards as those foolish companies will give you in order to buy crypto and then never, ever pay your credit cards back. Can you explain that theory and how it's working for you?
Well, it's working beautifully, and I'm continuing to Credmaxx right now. Listen, I would be
You're Credmaxxing still?
if I hadn't Credmaxxed back in the day and gotten my bag of magic coins, I would be dead right now because I would have killed myself. Okay? So that's my financial my financial independence. The ticket to my financial independence was a magical little card that said Barclays on it, and another magical little card that said Capital One on it, and another magical little card that said MasterCard on it. Like that's how I fucking. But look, the if you know of an asset or a play or something that's going to go up in value mad, why not take out a bunch of credit card debt to finance it? That's only if you know of something that's going to go up that's going to beat, your 25% APR or whatever. So it's case specific.
Oh, you're actually going to pay them back?
Case specific. I have been because I want to buy a house, but there's really, if you're not going to buy a house, there's not really any reason to pay back debt. You can just.
That was always the thing because I was like, it makes sense that he Credmaxxed and bought a bunch of Bitcoin cheap. And then, but your advice was always like, and your credit score? Fuck your credit score. And I'm like, but what if you ever want a home or anything like that?
You'll be paying cash for the home.
Unless you're making 10 grand a day on fucking Cameo, you're not gonna have the capital.
Most people have no hope of ever buying a home, and for most people, it would probably be a retarded decision anyway, because you buy a home and the value, your wealth that you're trying to preserve in this investment vehicle is getting sucked away by property tax and maintenance costs, whatever else. I don't know if I'm not sure buying a home is a good idea from an investment standpoint. I just want to do it because I need a place to put my vehicles.
But it's typically one of the greatest wealth builders in any family.
The real estate market's just about to fucking implode. It's just about to fucking implode.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying I don't know anything about it.
The last time the real estate market imploded, prices barely went down. They just sold more slowly, and then they went back up, and then they went higher.
Is that true? But
the cost of a house went to like $400 grand. Now there's some markets like Florida swampland and Las Vegas where perhaps it did go down, but the bulk of the country, your $400,000 house dropped to like 390, sold more slowly, and now it's at 600.
I don't know, with inflation and then the rate hikes and everything, it is really difficult for someone to get into a house for the first time. The system does seem to be set up to keep them out.
Gosh, you're right.
I mean, you want to keep them out if you're a landlord, and I see that movement on Reddit. I was really confused by it at first, the hate for landlords.
Okay.
Because I've never had any love for any of my landlords. I was never like, oh yeah, realty investment company, $6 million. I love them. It's not that. It's just but I mean, they own this fucking place, and for a reasonable amount of money, they let me fucking stay here. And my rent was late that time, and they just nudged me. They weren't shitty about it. So got no problem with them. I didn't understand the hate